Joining us on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line is the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Dave Roberts. How are you? Skip, how are you?
Rich, I'm doing well, man. It's good to connect with you. It's been too long.
Well, how about this? It's been longer than both of us would have hoped. How does that sound?
That's fair. That's fair. But I think we have a lot to talk about, which is good.
Well, your NCAA tournament bracket, right, Dave?
That's what I'm referring to. Absolutely. Talk Bruin basketball.
Now, yes. I mean, you got the UCLA and USC both in here. We all know, again, what we're congratulations on being named manager of the NL All-Star team before there's even a pitch, Dave.
Thank you very much. No, I'll tell you this, though. It's going to be fun. I mean, I don't remember the last time the Dodger Stadium, the city of Los Angeles, held an All-Star game. So as we get to the Summer Classic, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you're giving the fans a little idea of what they may look like because the lineup that it appears that you'll be able to fill in is somewhat ridiculous. What can you tell me about Freddie Freeman, best you can right now?
Well, yeah, as best I can. Obviously it's been out there and it's coming to pass. Once it's official. Obviously there's physical that has to go by. I haven't put my arms around him yet, but had a chance to chat with them last night. And so, if it comes to pass, which we all expect, it's a special team, a special lineup, and this guy, is one of the best players in all of baseball, and to acquire a guy like that to an already very good ball club is crazy. And he's a Southern California guy, so grew up in Atlanta as far as with the Braves, but to come out west, I know he and his wife Chelsea, they're very excited.
So you have already spoken with him last night.
I have. It was a quick kind of let's get this thing done, and he's very excited. So. Just had my morning meeting, so there was a different buzz in the clubhouse.
I bet so. So when it all comes down to it, obviously you have so many options with your lineup right now. The question is so when do you think it might become official with Freddie Freeman?
I would say hopefully sooner than later, in the next day. I mean, I hope today or tomorrow. But I think that, yeah, Rich, I think across industries, and I think that baseball has been the forefront. I think the Dodgers in particular, as far as talking about depth. And when you're talking about 162 games, the depth, you seem to always tap into it. And so when you have a lot of good players that are versatile, it just kind of allows you to get through a season. And I think that certainly there's some sacrifice and some cost individually with players, which I'm having those conversations. But at the end of the day, it's trying to bring a championship back to Los Angeles. And, Freddie and the players around him give us the best chance to do that.
Dave Roberts, LA Dodgers manager, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line. And you just, again, for the terrestrial radio audience that just joined us, you spoke to Freddie Freeman briefly last night. Is there anything you can share with us, the conversation you had with your
it's just more of let's just get through the physical, let's get him in camp, and it was a mutual kind of excitement. And I can't give ownership, Mark Walter and Andrew Friedman and baseball ops enough credit for getting something like this done. But obviously, I'm pretty excited, Rich. But I'm trying to temper the joy, but I'm not doing a great job of it.
Well, again, I know that it's tough to talk about something that's not yet official, and anything can happen and things of that nature. So, hypothetically, do you see him between the Turners and the 3-hole? Is that something that you would be? More prone to do?
Have a conversation with him. I think that he certainly earned that, and it's kind of I see him in the 2 or the 3. So kind of how I put together the lineup, but I'm certainly going to have a conversation with him.
Okay, and now you're not used to having a DH more than just a few times a year, but now you're going to have one for all 162. Who would that candidate be for the Los Angeles Dodgers?
You know what? And it's funny is that I've always been sort of the advocate of the senior circuit and having the pitcher and the double switches and all that kind of stuff, and not have the DH. But with our roster, it certainly alleviates a little bit of friction because there's a spot that a guy can take 4 at-bats in a night. So I think for us, it's not going to be that traditional DH. It's kind of revolving with a lot of different guys. I think, JT is one. I think, Max, get him in there. Will Smith, when he's not catching, maybe give him a day or two as a DH to keep his bat in there. So just to kind of get guys off their feet, keep their bat in there, probably makes the most sense, with the way our roster is constructed.
So you liked the NL way of doing it. I can't believe I'm going to call it this, the old way of doing it. But now that you've got the AL way of doing it, is it grown on you? You kind of dig it right now?
It's grown pretty quickly, and I understand, as far as the fans and to have an extra hitter in there as opposed to a pitcher, taking a couple, 2 or 3 at bats in a night, and you want to see that hitter and guys like a Nelson Cruz, for example. I'm a huge fan, so to keep guys like that relevant in the game, participating, contributing, I think that there's something to be said for that. But I'm like you, Rich. I just love the strategy and when to pull a pitcher, when to pinch hit, and the double switching and stuff like that. It just I like that kind of cerebral part of the game.
Okay, so we let's talk pitching then. How does your staff look right now? How do you see your rotation going?
I like our staff a lot. I think it's certainly we do a good job of the depth piece. And obviously the pen, but obviously Walker Buehler, Julio Urias, Clayton Kershaw, Andrew Heaney, we acquired or signed from the Angels. He's been with the Angels in recent years. Then you've got David Price, Tony Gonsolin to kind of fill out the rotation. So I named 6 guys, and we're going to be even deeper than that because we got some young guys, Ryan Pepio, Bobby Miller, Landon Knack, some guys that you're going to be hearing about, Richie soon, guys that are coming. But I think that as far as getting through April and May, I think every manager is going to kind of agree in the sense of having guys that can take down multiples to kind of piggyback the starters who just don't have that build-up that they're accustomed to in spring trainings past.
Well, I noticed one name that didn't get mentioned by you right there is Trevor Bauer. What can you tell me about him?
Yeah, I really can't, and it's not of just trying to. I just don't have the information. So I think I guess that the line is I'm just going to kind of focus on the guys that are in camp, and until I know more, and until he's with us, I just can't comment because I just don't know enough information. But I'm sure as time goes on, we'll know more.
Okay, so right now you're planning to start 2022 and go for how long without Trevor Bauer right now?
Absolutely, yeah. Yes,
okay.
sir.
So how's Kershaw?
Clayton's doing great. Like I've told a couple people, is he doesn't do a good job of hiding his emotions. So when he feels good, he's pretty jovial. And threw a live the other day, felt really good. His just body's moving well, and signed a 1-year deal. So he and his wife Ellen are excited to come back for one more year, and I'm excited. It's just good to have him back, throwing the baseball, feeling good, and. Over the last couple years, Rich, he's just gone through so many injuries and trying to find a way to come out and still perform, which he's done. But this is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and it's good to see 22 in the clubhouse.
So what's the plan for him? I mean, are you going to – how many innings do you expect, right? I mean, what – because you're going to want to keep him –
What I do know, Rich, is that he'll be ready for the first turn in the rotation. I don't know, where we're going to pencil him in as far as in what slot. But and to your question, I would think 3 to 4 is pretty fair. Could we get him into the 5th inning if all goes well in that first start? That would be the hope. But I think 3 to 4 is fair, and we'll just have guys behind him and continue to ramp him up.
Dave Roberts, LA Dodgers manager, here on the Rich Eisen Show again the day after news breaks that Freddie Freeman is in the middle of this lineup. I mean, Betts, Trey Turner, Freeman, Justin Turner, Muncy, Smith, Taylor, Bellinger. If that's where you want to put him 8th, I mean, my God, Pollock. Are you going to laugh out loud sometimes when you actually start filling out your lineup card?
You know what? It's pretty amazing, and I'm not going to lie. I've run a couple exercises. I might have run a couple exercises in days prior with him in the lineup and kind of seeing how it looks. So it's a talented team. But the great thing about our game is you still got to go out there and perform. And so, but I do like the club.
Well, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous for me to ask it, but I'm going to ask it anyway because you know it. You know the drill. I mean, you've also spent time in the Northeast where it's a pressure cooker just like anything else. The expectation is anything short of winning the World Series is a failure. Dave, how do you?
And I spent time, as you mentioned, in Boston. I understand that expectation in the market, and that's Los Angeles, and that's what you live for. That's what you play for, and to have the expectation of the fan base, we know that going in, and so I do believe in the process, how we go about it. I believe in the players, the coaches, front office, everyone. So that's our goal too.
Do you address that with players? Like literally throw it out on a table and say this is our expectation level as well? Do you do that?
You know what? It's talked about a little bit. I think for me, I'm more focused on the day at hand and getting better. And I think that it's kind of the old adage: how you do anything is how you do everything. And so I think that's something that mantra our guys have taken to. So when you do that, the byproduct with the talent, puts you in a position to win a championship. But, yeah, I mean, it goes without saying our goal is to hold that trophy, be the last team standing in 2022.
Dave Roberts, a couple more minutes left with the Dodgers manager here on the Rich Eisen Show. So we're hearing that there's going to be some sort of like competition committee similar to what, the NFL has or what the NBA has, more, I guess, attuned to that, where, in 2023, they're going to start talking about new rules changes and whatever. But for sure, it looks like the shift might be on its last legs here. Dave, what do you make of that concept?
I'm sort of, you can play both sides like most things.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the competition committee getting different, and I don't know exactly who's on that committee, but hopefully it's some field personnel, some front office, some ownership, so you can kind of collaborate and kind of come to some consensus. But, yeah, with the shift, I definitely like the way that certainly makes guys like Max Muncy, we've talked about Freddie Freeman, better baseball players, Cody Bellinger. But I do like the way of, with the rules, how they have been, you're trying to get outs. And so with the shift, allowable, permissible, to move three guys to the other side of the diamond, put Manny Machado in short right field, it's smart. But to kind of play it more straight, potentially have spikes on the dirt or just two guys on one side of the infield, I'm okay with it. And it's up to players to just kind of adjust. But I see it both ways.
Yeah, really. I see it. Just again, I'm just as a fan, obviously, and I just don't want to see like hardliners by your lefties that would normally find grass being caught by a third baseman out in short right center field. Like, that's just, as a fan, it's just, I want to see movement. I want to see you, we've been talking about your strategy so much. I want to see you hitting and running, right? I want to see gappers. I want to see guys going from first to third, first to home. That's, triples, like that's the sort of thing I want to see. And it just seems to be missing strikeout, walk, or home run. It's what it seems to be these days.
And I think that's a great point, and that's real. That's a real, that narrative, that thought is very common. And I do believe that it will take away the just swinging for the fences kind of narrative where, if I'm hitting balls and lining them to short right field and I got a third baseman there, I'm more apt to now just try to elevate and not try to hit line drives. So now if guys are getting rewarded for hitting a ball, in the 5.5, that Tony Gwynn hole to the right-handed pull side, or the lefty in the 4 hole, and you're going to see more action, more balls in play, and that's what fans want.
Do you like a pitch clock? Are you up for that?
I do. And I think it's one of those things that players are very adaptable. So I think early on it's going to be something different. But I do think that in between pitches, and nothing against my old buddy Valverde, but, that human rain delay, guys like that walking around the mound and in between pitches to kind of speed it up, I think it's good for the game. And it's just that rhythm that I think that fans certainly need.
Maybe you should go on this committee, Dave. I mean, seriously.
Why don't you talk to Mr. Manfred and get me on there?
I'm serious. Like, coaches in the NFL are on the competition committee. I mean, Vrabel, for instance, is and Tomlin's been on it for a while. Sean Payton used to be on it. I mean, you're a former player too. You've got a lot. Why not?
I appreciate it, and I do think that it shouldn't just be and I might get a letter in the mail. But I do think that ownership, it shouldn't just be management. It shouldn't just, it should be kind of everyone that has some skin in the game. And, no one sees more baseball than the field manager. So, but yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Okay. Dave Roberts, thanks for the call. Congratulations, man. Tell me, what are your lottery numbers for the Powerball? Can you share those with me right now? Can you share?
Number 5, 22, 10.
Yep.
What number is Trey Turner? 6.
Yep.
There you go. Those are my lottery numbers. Walker Buehler, 21. How about that?
Okay, come on. Hold on a minute. You're so close to actually giving them, and if that actually hits,
Will
Dave.
Smith, 16. Am I doing okay?
What's your Powerball? The Powerball is, give me the highest number guy. What's Bellinger's number?
50.
35.
Okay, 50. There you go. That's the Powerball.
Mookie Betts. There you go.
There you go.
Bam.
Well done. Dave Roberts, thank you, sir. You take
Somebody
care.
is going to
All
play
right,
those numbers.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, they're called.
There you go.
Yeah,
Would
somebody
that
is
be
Me immediately.
Play those numbers and hit. That'd be amazing.
Let's pull it together and see if we could make as much as Freeman.
I'm in for $20. All right, I'm in.
Take care, Dave. Take care.
All right, guys. Take care.
That's
Bye-bye.
Dave Roberts, everybody.
You said make as much as Freeman.
Mookie's the Powerball.
Wow.
50.
Hey.
5, 22, 16, 6, 21, 16, 50. Did I get those right?
He said 5, 6, 10,
6.
16, 21, 22, and the Powerball is 50. We are playing it.
10, my bad.
We are playing it.
All right, so Powerball draws on Saturday, and
Let's
it's
go.
147, so not as much.
Not as much.
Not as much as Freddie Freeman.
Plus, we got to take taxes out, and then if we
So-
pull, we got to divvy it up.
So,
Nothing short of the piece of metal will be
Close to the guaranteed Aaron Rodgers money, though.
acceptable here in
true.
Los Angeles.
there you go, Mike.
We're close.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.